Okay, thank you, Michael. We know it's that time of year again. Tax season starts tomorrow, and even though it might seem like we have plenty of time to file, there's a good reason to get your taxes done before the last minute. Joining us this morning with more is financial professional Dan Morris with Mainstay Financial Group. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
And let's talk about these taxes. Why is it a good reason to go ahead and start filing?
Well, you know, it's that time of year, so you might as well get prepared for it. One of the first things is probably the obvious thing. You want your return back as quick as possible.
Sure.
And statistically speaking, 9 out of 10 households and individuals who do that, they get their refund back about 21 days quicker. So, you know, that's important. Okay. Another thing you want to kind of keep in mind is, what do I do with it when I get it? Well, as a financial advisor, I can tell you, put it on your credit card debt, the Christmas stuff you didn't pay for that we talked about on our segments, and to make sure that you also maybe set up a savings account or do something smart with it.
Okay.
Another thing that you have out there is you have mistakes. You have CPAs, you're doing it yourself, but the bottom line is, if you give yourself time, you can look for those mistakes. And I can tell you, if you make mistakes, you could be audited, you could have penalties, so it's almost like a test. You want 100 on it.
Right.
You want to make sure you do it properly.
Okay, so those are some great ways that you can start early. And another thing that we're concerned about too is that ID theft. Is this a way that you can help prevent the identity theft?
Well, as far as identity theft goes, there's a lot of different parameters to it. The IRS is always looking out for you. Last year was less identity theft than ever. But you want to make sure you do things like take your return to the post office yourself. You want to make sure you do stuff like that. You also want to make sure you understand that from an identity theft perspective, if you are compromised, you want to make sure you do things like reach out to the IRS, reach out to the FTC. So that's very important.
Okay, great. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as well in our next half hour with Dan, give you guys a few more tips on what you need to know and to do to avoid becoming a victim of identity theft.